You had 11 minutes and 4 drafts of one word. Then somebody typed an answer in your name, and the first thing you felt was gratitude, because a no in someone else's handwriting never counts against you. You've been calling that being easy to get along with. It is 9:08 p.m. on a Sunday. She is alone at the kitchen counter under the refrigerator hum. She squares the flashcard stack against the counter edge twice. The phone lights. 9 names, 1 question. Dinner, Friday. She reads the list twice before she reads the question. Baseline first. Who is warm tonight? Who is clipped? What the thread carries without anyone having to adjust. Then her own answer, set 1 notch under whatever she just took. A position beneath the rooms is a position nobody has to make space for. Anyone would call this easygoing. It is closer to a measurement. She puts herself last in the list, silently, before anyone asks. The trimming starts before she types a character. A yes shortens to a maybe to a shrug to no preference. And every cut logs as precision instead of subtraction. None of it registers as a decision. It registers as accuracy, and accuracy is the one thing she never checks twice. The question stays open, and the answers arrive in a run, 9 of them, before she has been through the stack a second time. All 9 shorter than the one she has not sent. She drafts a yes. Then she trims it. Not the whole yes, only the clause where she wants something. What is left is 6 characters with no preference in them, and she files that as clean. It's easier for everyone if I don't make them wait on me. That is the line. She has it ready before the question finishes arriving. So she charts the thread instead of answering it. Who came in fast? Who came in warm? Where her name would land if it arrived last, underneath 9 that are already settled. The count goes to the restaurant at 9:30 p.m. 9 is a usable number for a table. 10 is a second chair, a phone call, somebody standing up. She measures her own yes at 1 chair and 1 call, against the pole closing on its own, with nobody asked to move. And the second figure is smaller. It is always smaller. She runs it a third way. Answering late puts friction above the baseline, and friction above the baseline is contraindicated. No, not contraindicated, just louder than she is willing to be. Nobody asked her to be this small. She moves 1 card to the back of the stack, 1 pass counted, and the yes she trimmed is still unsent. How much is a preference worth if it never gets entered? The count updates. Someone has typed her name into the thread for her. She's out. She has an exam. 9 going, 1 accounted for. Then a private message. 1 line, 1 word required. You're good with that, right? Nothing to read this time. 1 reader, no baseline to take, nothing to chart, no clause left to cut. The whole yes has already been removed by somebody else. And what is left is confirmation. The message lands at 9:21 p.m. She presses a reaction, then pushes the phone an inch away. The poll is still open, less of it left than she spent on 4 drafts of 1 word. The first refusal had a rehearsed sentence behind it. This one had a thumb. 9 readers got a sentence she never sent. 1 reader got a symbol, and less of her than the 9 got. For 2 years, the arithmetic had been honest, and that is what made it usable. Pre-med took the hours. The hours were real, the curve was real, and nobody had ever asked her to prove either. She had made sure the thread knew her schedule before the thread had to ask. Not as a complaint, as a protocol, so no plan ever had to route around her twice. A girl with the curve to keep is a girl nobody has to include, and being excused is cleaner than being declined. She had been the reliable no for 2 years, and the number was useful to everyone who received it. It kept the plan simple. It kept the count even. It kept her from being the reason 9 people had to wait on 1. Nobody argues with a girl who has to study. She had never cost anyone a chair or a phone call or a second table. Whatever any arrangement lacked, it did not lack because of her. Being unavailable was never the sacrifice. It was the alibi she liked best. What the trimming bought was a clean chart. No entry, no reading. If a want never went on the record, nobody had to weigh it, and she never had to learn what it weighed. She never took the seat because the seat returns a number. A request comes back with a speed attached to it and a temperature attached to it, and neither figure can be unread once it arrives. A yes that lands arranged, a half-second late, reads differently than one that lands fast, and there was no rounding that put it back. So she never submitted for measurement, not once in 2 years. Calling that a decision is generous. A decision has a moment in it, and there was never a moment. Every rounding down bought the same thing. She gave up margin every time, unasked, and what it bought was never having a number to unread. The bench partner asked 4 times. 4. After the 4th pass, he stopped, and she filed his stopping as a schedule outcome instead of an answer. 2 years across the same bench, and she kept the hours and not one of the nights. 19 Friday nights, logged in a document she still keeps, under a column she titled, Available. Each pass made the next one cheaper for everyone. 9 people learned her answer before she gave it. Then one of them was kind enough to give it for her, which is precisely what she had trained the room to do. She never once had to raise her voice to run it. What did she think the trimming was teaching them? The smoothness she kept charting was never a temperament. It was a service. She had delivered it so accurately that the room stopped noticing there was a person doing the delivering. And a service nobody notices is a service nobody thanks. The applause she was still working for had ended years ago. She was the only one left, marking the performance. She had not been overlooked. She had written the summary the room was reading from, the exam, the hours, the reliable no. Then she read it back to herself as a verdict handed down by other people. You did this on Thursday, when you said you were swamped before anyone finished asking, and you were grateful they believed you. She is still standing at the counter. The reaction lands. The thread goes quiet after it and stays quiet. Her name in the count is still editable. The dishwasher shifts cycle. The stack sits squared where she left it, 1 card out of order at the back. She moves that card forward 1 place, then back. Then the last line in the thread stops being the last one. She could leave the thumb where it is, close the thread, and put the stack back into order for the night, 1 pass per stack. Nothing to compose, nothing to correct. A baseline that never once had to move. That holds until the evening the first photo from the table arrives, long after the poll has closed itself. What it costs is the invitation after this one. She will answer it a week early, before it is fully asked, in the same 6 characters. And the one who typed for her will keep typing for her, a little faster every time, never learning the guess was wrong. Or she could book the evening someone else's sentence has already spent for her. 1 extra pass per stack, entered into the plan while the poll is still open, and by Friday the exam is real, the sentence about her accurate in hindsight. The relief in that is total, because nothing has to be said and nothing has to be corrected. The record simply agrees with itself. It expires the night that added pass comes around, and there is nothing in it worth learning. What it costs is the next one who considers asking her. He will run the odds, and he will not ask, and she will never know a question was withdrawn. Or she could type 1 line into the open thread before the poll closes. She wants to come. Put her back on the count. Left there unexplained, no schedule attached, No apology for the friction it makes. The relief lasts about one pass through the stack. It collapses the moment somebody at the table asks her out loud why she almost didn't come, and there is no rounding that answers that. From then on, there is a preference of hers on the record, readable, weighable, with a speed and a temperature coming back at it. And the girl who is easy to plan around is the one who pays for it. Under the refrigerator hum, the stack is squared and the thread is closed, and 9 is still 9. Her hand reaches for the phone, stops, returns to the cards. One line, 14 characters maybe, less than she trimmed off the yes she never sent, and less than the sentence somebody else wrote for her. She runs the friction one more time, the way she has run it all evening, and it comes back the same, below the baseline, accurate. At 9:29 p.m., her hand is on the phone, and the line stays empty. The count goes without her, and she was the one who filed it. The room is quiet. Count what it cost.